You were born into the warrior class. That wasn't luck, it was a sentence. Your life was decided before you understood what life was. Serve, obey, die early. You didn't choose this path, it was chosen for you. There is no childhood. At 5 years old, they put a wooden sword in your hands. It's light, but the pain is real. Strikes to the arms, the shoulders, the back. Pain is your first language. Tears are forbidden. Crying is shame. You learn fast that if something hurts, that's your problem. The world is not required to be gentle. They teach you how to stand for hours, on your knees. Your back burns, your legs go numb, your joints scream. You're not allowed to move. Control matters more than strength. A samurai must be able to freeze and wait even when everything inside him wants to break. By 15, you go through your coming-of-age ritual. They shave the front of your head. Ugly but practical. The helmet won't slip in battle. Samurai aesthetics are not about beauty, they're about function. Anything that doesn't serve a purpose is removed, even your hair. Your armor looks beautiful. Lacquered plates, cords, patterns. From a distance, it's art. Up close, it's weight. Around 25 kilograms, it pulls your shoulders down, cuts into your collarbones, restricts your breathing. In summer, there's no air under it. Sweat doesn't evaporate, it just runs. After 1 hour, you're soaked. After 2, you're sticky. You can't take it off. Armor is not for comfort. It's there to keep you alive a few minutes longer. The kabuto helmet. The higher your status, the more ridiculous the horns. They're not decoration, they're identification. The enemy needs to know who he's killing from far away. The menpo mask hides your face. It terrifies your opponent and hides your fear. A demon's grin, even if there's nothing inside. You think the katana is the samurai's main weapon. That's a myth, a beautiful lie. The katana is a backup, a last resort. The real weapon is the bow. A samurai is first and foremost a mounted archer. Kill the enemy before he gets close. Distance matters more than technique. When the arrows are gone, you take the spear. A long stick almost always beats a short blade. That's not philosophy, that's physics. Your horse is not a legendary war stallion. Reality is a short, shaggy pony. Tough, stubborn, not impressive, but it keeps going, just like you. You serve for rice. Rice is food and currency. Koku, a measure of life. 1 portion is enough to keep you from starving. You live for rice. You kill for rice. You have the legal right to kill a peasant for disrespect, sword testing. But you still have to file a report afterward. Even killing is paperwork. Bureaucracy has no emotions. Bushido, a code of honor? That comes later, in peacetime. Right now, the rule is simple. Survive and win. Your business is heads. Cut off the enemy's head, get paid. No head, no reward. To stop others from stealing your trophy, you tie a tag with your name to it. Looting among allies is normal. War doesn't make people noble, it just removes restraints. Real combat looks nothing like the movies. No duels, no elegant stances, just crowds, mud, screaming. Spears break. You shove the point into faces until someone drops. If he gets too close, it turns into wrestling. You grab, crush, break joints. When he stops resisting, you pull a short blade and drive it into the gap in his helmet. This isn't murder, it's work. But some enemies you never see. Ninja are not men in black costumes. They're gardeners, monks, beggars, servants. They don't fight fair. They burn your rice storehouse at night. Hunger kills armies faster than swords. They poison wells. They listen, even in the toilet. You squat and someone could be under the floor with a knife, the most shameful death imaginable. So you never sleep well. You check knots, doors, floors. You live in paranoia. That's part of the job. A samurai is not just a fighter, he's a component of a control system. At the end of the evening, there's head inspection. You wash the trophy, comb the hair. A fine head. The general looks and says, just a regular soldier. You get praise. You wanted land. Not everyone gets land. In night, peasants come onto the battlefield. They finish off the wounded and strip the armor. For them, war is harvest season. You see it. You don't interfere. Everyone has their role. You've become a perfect instrument, obedient, efficient, dangerous. But the world is already changing, and soon you won't even be allowed to die beautifully.
The world doesn't change all at once. At first, you don't notice. You still wear armor, still serve for rice, still take heads. But a new weapon appears on the battlefield. A thunderous stick, a gun. Samurai laugh. Where's the honor? Where's the skill? Where's the art? This is a coward's weapon. But training an archer takes years. Training a swordsman takes decades. Training a peasant with a gun takes 2 days. He doesn't know stances. He doesn't know codes. He just pulls the trigger. Mathematics begins to defeat tradition. Armies grow. War becomes cheap, mass-produced. You watch legendary sword masters die in the mud without ever reaching the enemy. Not because they're weak, because smoke, lead, and distance don't respect technique. Spears, swords, armor, all of it starts losing to gunpowder. You're still alive, but your profession is becoming obsolete. The lords understand this before you do. They buy guns, build firing lines, train peasants, not because they respect them, but because they're cheaper. What matters now isn't skill, but numbers and powder. You're still useful, but no longer as a warrior, as an overseer, a symbol, discipline. Then the war ends, and this is where the real death of the samurai begins, not on the battlefield, in peacetime. Your sword goes on the rack. You stay alive, and that's worse. A warrior without war is emptiness. You still wear 2 swords, but you only use a brush, writing reports, counting rice. Merchants grow rich, you grow poor. You're an elite without money. The uniform remains, the meaning is gone. Orders follow, one after another. Cut off the top knot. Everyone must look the same, like Europeans. You cry, but you cut it. Then another order. Swords are banned. The katana is no longer a symbol. It's illegal. Your soul becomes contraband. A class that fought for centuries is erased with paper. Some refuse to accept it. They want to die properly, one last time. A few hundred swordsmen against tens of thousands with rifles and artillery. This is not a battle. It's disposal. Losses are not comparable. The sword finally loses to technology. Spirit proves weaker than physics. Honor doesn't stop bullets. The samurai disappear. Slowly, they dissolve. Some join the police. Now you can beat people with a stick legally. Old habits survive. Just replace the katana with a baton. Others go into business. Some build corporations. Trading steel turns out to be more profitable than cutting it with. The samurai stops being a warrior and becomes a function, a manager, a supervisor. Bushido gets written down, not for war, for memory, by people who haven't fought in decades. The code becomes clean, convenient, bloodless. Samurai spirit turns into a product. Later it's used for propaganda. Now you die not for a clan, but for the state. Not for rice, but for slogans. The real filth disappears from history. Severed heads, name tags, betrayals for food, all of that gets erased. What remains is a legend, a noble warrior, pure honor, a beautiful death. It's easier that way. Today, the samurai is a movie character. He flies, cuts tanks in half, and dies heroically. We love the image because the truth is uncomfortable. The real samurai wasn't a hero. He was a consumable, a killer paid in rice, a tool discarded when it stopped being efficient. You are no longer a samurai, but the system is the same. Reports, pressure, fear of making mistakes, obedience to rules you didn't write. Your lord is now called a boss. Your rice is called a salary. Your sword is called a position. The question isn't who you were. The question is who you've become. This life is over. Another can begin. Viking, World War I soldier, cowboy, or just another person inside a system that will eventually discard you too. The choice is yours.